Hey Abraham, Rick Borden, long time no see. I've got some really cool stuff I want to share with you, so I'm just going to go out and get in front. Well, I head over here. Abe, we had an email exchange going on back in 2019, and it had to do with a lot of change, a lot of different things that was going on, and I assured you that I wasn't leaving your organization, MAPS Business Coaching, to go to another organization. And in that exchange, I had shared with you that I was going through some personal growth and development changes. And one of the things that I did was I took the One Thing, all 7 domains on page 114 of the One Thing book, and I started at the very top. And I did a 66-day ongoing challenge for 511 days. So my very first challenge was spiritual. If you look on, again, page 114, the very top of it is spiritual. And for that challenge, I knew that I wanted to take the seed code, if you will. Gary talks about this, I believe. The seed code off, that we protect ourselves, that we put up the wall, or maybe it's a mask. But when you can see, as you can see, I'm in my Erden farm here. We do a lot of growing and planting, and I understand the process of a seed coat. It's an initial protective layer of what's inside. And as people grow and expand, that seed coat comes off, and that true authentic self can really flourish. That's what I was about to learn when I started the 66-day challenge. And what that 66-day challenge was, Abe, was I prayed for myself in front of a mirror for 66 days, as if I were to pray for somebody else. But what the goal was to really to identify my adaptive self inside the seed coat to my authentic self outside of the seed coat, where we can grow and blossom and flourish, that professional and personal growth and development. And the journey began. And I went through all 7 challenges, Abe. And in between each challenge, I gave a week's time to synthesize the data, to review and reflect the reflexivity. What happened? And how did I get over myself? And I learned in that first 66-day challenge, because I was submitting myself and I was praying for myself as if I were somebody else from the heart of Jesus Christ. I needed to know what was going on in here to make better sense of what was happening up in here. While doing that, I was in my doctorate degree with the University of Charleston, West Virginia, a doctor of executive leadership. So as I was going through course curriculum, these challenges, simultaneously, I saw exponential growth. And I was moving through things, the personal growth, the development, the interpersonal relationships. And Abe, I hit a cognitive wall in last year, October of last year. And I started sharing with you that I have ADHD. I knew I did. I'd never been diagnosed when you and I had that exchange. But I did hit a cognitive wall, a dysfunctional wall. And I went and got brain mapped. I had what is called a QEEG. They put this thing on your head, and it goes and it races through your brain, and it tracks all of the electrical stimuli. Fascinating. 2 tests, eyes open and eyes closed. 2 different results. Long story short, and I will share this report with you. I would love for you to see, because I think it's essential to understand who we are as men, as men of faith, as leaders in our community, leaders in our family, leaders in organizations, that we understand a population that I'm about to discuss with you. And that's the neurodiverse population, neurodiversity, neurodivergent. People on the spectrum. Good tip for you to know, which you probably already do know. My guess is most of your clients that are entrepreneurs, there's a high percentage of them that are neurodiverse, that have ADD, ADHD, experience depression, anxiety, OCD, Asperger's, dyslexic, dyspraxia, autistic. But a large population will be ADHD. Hence, the personal growth and development. I come to you today because through this journey that I've been on, I'm now at the point where I'm in my research. I got approved. My study, Abe, is cognitive diversity and leader communications. How do people that are neurodiverse effectively communicate with those that are neurotypical? How do those that are neurodiverse try to and effectively thrive, survive, and exist in a world that was developed and designed for neurotypical people, not neurodiverse? So from day one, this population is trying to put a square through a round hole. And they quickly adapt their adaptive self. Does that seed coat ever really come out? Does it break? Do they grow? Do they expand? And how do they serve? How do they communicate? How do they love? How do they think? The different ideations that come into their thoughts. They're disruptive people, positively and negatively. But when harnessed, that hyper focus that they get and the extraordinary things they can do is amazing. That's what my study is all about. I'm using a tool called SenseMaker. Cognitive Edge, Professor Snowden in the UK. I encourage you to look up Professor Snowden, David Snowden, at SenseMaker in Cognitive framework. I'm using a mixed methods, qualitative and quantitative study research tool that does a distributive ethnographic research about the phenomenology of people's personal stories, their narratives. My study is asking participants to recall a time, either positive or negative, where leader communications. What's the most significant story they remember that is anchored or embedded in their mindset? What's the conversation that left people touched, moved, or inspired to take action, or inspired to do something that wasn't so good? That's what my study seeks to understand. It's global. It's around the world. And I'm asking you, sir, as a colleague and a friend and a brother in Christ, if you'd be interested in taking the study yourself. It takes 15 minutes. You can do it online. And we're looking for the rich depth of the stories that people have. And Abraham, you are a storyteller. You are a gifted individual who has the ability to share amazing stories. And I would love for you to participate. In fact, if there's anybody you know who would be able to contribute to the story and to this field that we're researching, I think it would have an amazing impact on society, on coaching. There are going to be many interventions that this distributive ethnography will uncover in humanity and society and in our cultures and within the organizations. And I'd be honored, sir, if you'd love to participate. And if you did participate, if you saw, like I said, any value in sharing this study within your organization, within your team, within your family, in your spiritual groups, we're here to understand what's happening with the population of the neurodiverse and the neurotypical and how they best communicate together. Take care, my friend. Love you, respect you. God bless you, brother.